Hello everyone. You might notice that I'm not in my apartment even though we are on a stay-at-home order. Well, that's because I'm a government employee and I still have to go into work. So I thought that since I'm planning to do my grocery shopping this afternoon that I would also check and see what kind of supplies Walmart has in regards to sewing a new project. All of the craft stores around here are closed, which is not the case everywhere. I know that there are some places that are staying open despite the stay-at-home orders, but luckily all of our local craft stores are sane and actually closed. So our only local option for craft supplies currently is Walmart. So I have been wanting to make some 1860s accessories to go with a dress that I am revamping. My first project is going to be a little lace cap. And I did a little bit of preliminary shopping on Walmart's website, specifically for things that are in store that I can pick up today. And I know that they have pre-cut lengths of lace fabric that, even though it's not the best, it'll do. And they have a couple of spools of lace edging that I think I can use for this project. So let's head to Walmart and see what we can actually find in store. Been slightly picked over. That's pretty. That would make a nice lappet. I will pick that up. I think this is the lace edging that I saw on the website. Whoops. It's kind of hard to tell with it all smushed under the packaging, but I think it'll make a nice ruffle. That's the lace fabric that they had on the website. Doesn't look like the best quality, but it's also not the worst. That looks like it's going to be the one we're using. Alright, I think we had a pretty successful shopping trip. I got the lace fabric that I saw online, and I got 2 lace trims, which I think should be enough for this project. I'm not quite sure, but it was all they had, so now we go home and we pattern out the cap and hope everything is enough. But if this is a successful project, it'll be under $20, so that's in the plus category. So here's what we ended up finding at Walmart. A pre-cut length of mid-grade lace. It's nice and soft, but it's a little shiny. A spool of insertion lace that I'm thinking might make some nice lappets. And a spool of lace trim that I think I'm going to use for the ruffles that frame the face. After scrolling through some extant examples online, I decided to go with a half moon pattern. It seemed like a lot of the caps kind of followed this basic style and then were just trimmed to within an inch of their life, so that's what I decided to do too.
The basic shape of the cap is just a half circle. I used the front edge of the paper as the front edge of the cap so it would be nice and straight, and then I drafted out the back curve using a tape measure and a 6-inch radius. To draft the curve, I marked where the center of the cap would be, and then used the tape measure to mark 6 inches in a semicircle. To make the back of the cap fit smoothly over the curve of the head, I decided to add in some darts. I folded the paper pattern in half, and then in half again to divide it into quarters. Along the fold lines, I measured up 2.5 inches, and then a ½ inch out from either side of the fold. In total, I ended up with 3 darts, which shaped the cap nicely over the back of the head. I cut out a base layer of plain white cotton that I had in the stash, and then I cut the top decorative layer out of our Walmart lace. Treating the cotton and lace as one layer, I stitched the darts to the inside of the cap by hand using a strong back stitch.
Alright, all of the darts are sewn into the back of the cap now, and it has much more of a head shape to it. It has that nice curve, so it'll sit nicely on the crown of my head. I'm going to turn under this raw edge of the cotton layer and hem that with just a plain whip stitch, because I don't want this raw edge of the cotton to fray at all. So that's going to be the next step, and then I can start trimming this thing.
I realized that the cap was going to be covered in lace trim anyway, and that the stitches weren't really going to show. So instead of doing a whip stitch, I just turned down the edge of the cotton layer twice and then sewed it down with a quick running stitch. Since the lace I was using for my ruffles came flat, I decided to gather it by hand using a simple running stitch. Once the gathering thread was pulled through the top edge of the lace, I adjusted the gathers by hand so they would lay evenly. I then positioned the first row of lace where I wanted it on the cap and pinned it in place. I used a simple running stitch to sew the lace onto the cap. I then repeated this entire process for many, many, many rows of lace.
Real tired gathering lace. Yeah? So I was looking at the lace that I got for the lappets, and if you look closely, it's actually a beading lace. So I looked through my ribbon stash, and at first I felt like that was cheating a little bit because I was trying to keep this all Walmart stuff and not too much stash stuff, but this particular ribbon is from Walmart. So it's not, I'm gonna say that's not out of bounds. Even though I already had it, it's something that they still have in their craft section. So I'm gonna say that this is within the realm of, this is within the rules. So this is what it'll look like once it has the ribbon through it. And since the dress that I'm working on is a black and white plaid, I think the black ribbon is really going to be nice on the headdress. I'm really happy that I got this lace because this is going to end up being a nice little accent that ties the cap into the rest of the dress. So I need to thread all this ribbon into this length for the lappet now. But once that's done, I'm almost done with this cap. I still have about half an hour before my usual bedtime, so let's see if I can finish this up in one night. I had a super fun time making this little cap, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It is so cute and ruffly and just covered in lace, and it's exactly everything that I love. So I am really happy with how this turned out. If you had fun on this sewing adventure with me, which I hope you did because I really enjoyed this project, Please be sure to hit that like button below, and if you want to see more sewing adventures from me in the future, including more Walmart experiments, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. And I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!